At the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold was the Miami Dolphins' first championship. Bob Greasy had arched a rainbow of his own, and the largest crowd ever to see Miami play signaled Paul Warfield's touchdown with a handkerchief salute. It would not be their last, for the Dolphins played a perfect football game. The turning point was a spectacular play that symbolized an entire season of teamwork. Dick Anderson's 62-yard trail of goal made Miami's miracle complete. The Colts were dethroned. The Miami Dolphins were champions of the American Football Conference. The team would be the youngest to play in the Super Bowl. And though that was doomsday for the Dolphins, the unhappy ending could in no way detract from the sensational sixth season that had gone before it. In their early years, the Dolphins had typical expansion pains. Then in 1970, a change took place. Don Shula, the NFL's winningest coach, came to Miami. Shula and his assistants, Clark, Armsparger, Keene, Scarry, Tassif, and Schnellenberger, made 20 roster changes and installed a complete new system. While other teams might melt in the Florida sun, they were determined the Dolphins would not. So a demanding conditioning program was a vital part of the new regime. In just 1 year, the new staff orchestrated a startling success. The team that had suffered 10 defeats in '69 earned 10 victories and a spot in the playoffs in 1970. So with Sunshine superfans filling the Orange Bowl in anticipation of what Shula's second season would bring, the Dolphins began the 1971 campaign. It took a pass to Warfield with 2.5 minutes left to gain a tie with Denver. The season's second game brought Miami's first victory. In an awesome display of power, Jim Kick and Larry Zonka each ran for over 100 yards to beat Buffalo. The home opener saw an old Florida favorite on the bench, and 59 slips on the polyturf as the Dolphins slid to a 4-point loss to the Jets. With the new season now 3 weeks old, Miami had won only once, and the bright promise of the past seemed merely a prelude to disaster. In New York, the aquatic Dolphins ran wild in the rain. The Jets were zonked and kicked as Miami's big backs both went over the century mark for the second time. The early loss to the Jets was avenged, and the surging Dolphins were now in first place in the AFC's Eastern Division. On the team's first visit to the Coliseum, Greasy and Warfield stunned the Rams on the third play. The 74-yard bomb upset favorite Los Angeles and proved the Dolphins could beat the stronger clubs in the NFL. Jim Kick sat out game number 8, but his replacement, Mercury Morris, raced for 116 yards as Miami broke the Bills 34-0. victory was the 5th straight and the first shutout in Dolphin history. The no-name defense that accomplished it played in a frenzy of hitting that handed out beatings to the toughest teams in football. For the unknown soldiers of the defensive line, the aim was to improve a pass rush that was last in the league the year before. Bill Stanfill, Jim Riley, Bob Heinz, and Manny Fernandez nearly doubled their sacks this season, and Miami ranked second. The heart of the Dolphin defense is its captain, 10-year veteran Nick Bonaconte. The middle linebacker's a great tackler whose experience allows him to anticipate where the ball is going to be. Bonaconte's leadership at linebacker was vital to Miami, for flanking him were 2 second-year men who made second-year mistakes. The young proteges were number 59, Doug Swift, the fine arts free agent from Amherst, and number 57, Mike Colon, nicknamed Captain Crunch for his head-on tackles. Both occasionally played man-to-man to supplement Shula's zone defense, and both defended well against the screen. While the linebacking core contained 2 sophomores, the secondary had 3. At the Russian roulette position of cornerback was Tim Foley, number 25, and Curtis Johnson, number 45, who in his second season as a starter saved his best plays for the biggest games. Johnson starred in the playoffs. Foley, the academic All-American from Purdue, demonstrated in his first full season fine tackling ability and remarkable agility in going for the ball. At strong safety was number 40, veteran Dick Anderson. His inspired play was a steadying influence on the young secondary. The third sophomore was number 13, Jake Scott, a man of many moves. Bobbing like a cork in a current, Scott's reckless running made him the second leading punt returner in the league, and his tackling and ball hawking earned him all-pro honors at free safety. So this was Miami's young, no-name defense. By season's end, everyone knew who they were. The season's 9th game saw hometown hero George Myra get his first start as a Dolphin. But in the second quarter, Miami trailed Pittsburgh by 18 points. Then Bob Greasy, who had been hospitalized with a stomach ailment, came off the bench. He and Warfield exploded for 3 touchdowns that beat the shell-shocked Steelers. The 24-21 win over Pittsburgh proved the Dolphins could come from behind and was a testament to team confidence. The man who made the difference was Bob Greasy, who has grown up with his team. In his 5th season, the young quarterback was named the top player in the NFL. When Greasy puts his head in the huddle, he owns it, for his poise and intelligence work well within the Shula system. Greasy's partnership with Paul Warfield has made the flanker a marked man, But all season, he repeatedly delivered the big play, the most complete receiver in the game. Warfield's liquid moves and adhesive hands have made him a legend in the National Football League. While Warfield brings great natural ability to his position, tough Howard Twilley does not. But the little guy has great hands and the habit of making the clutch catch in a tough situation. The offensive line formed a young but solid unit. The blocking of tight end Marv Fleming helped Miami lead the league in rushing. The center was number 61, former Cardinal All-Pro Bob DeMarco. The tackles were number 77, Doug Cruzan, and number 73, Norm Evans. But the pulling guards, number 66, Larry Little, and number 67, Bob Kuchenberg, made the biggest noise. Kuchenberg fought his way off the sandlots and waiver lists to become the most improved player in the Howard Johnson colors. When All-Pro Larry Little pulls out to sweep, he puts fear into the eyes of opponents. He's a devastating blocker who spurns finesse to simply blow his man out of the path of the ball carrier. Zonka and Kick, the Dolphins' consonant backfield duo. Totally inseparable, always an entry. Butch and Sundance are the best big back tandem in the game. Shula compares them to the Horning-Taylor acted Green Bay, but it's doubtful that any brace of backs have ever blocked so well for each other. Jim Kick is one of the best all-around backs in the game. In each of his 4 years as a pro, Kick has topped 1,000 yards both running and receiving. A true testament to his toughness and versatility. Larry Zonka, the first Dolphin to gain over 1,000 yards, is a throwback to the classic old-time fullback. At 237 pounds, with legs like tree trunks, he's impossible for one man to bring down. Like his sidekick, he rarely fumbles. In over 500 chances with the ball, each back fumbled only one time all year. With his relentless style of running, Zonka shrugs off tackles and injuries alike and punishes anyone who gets in his way. In Miami's power-oriented attack, Mercury Morris is the change of pace, the fastball. For Mercury, his nickname says it all. Number 1 is appropriate for Garo Yepremian. the smallest player in the pros kicked a club record 5 field goals in one game and was the leading scorer in football. In the season's 10th game against arch-rival Baltimore, the Dolphins were shut out in the first half and trailed the Colts. In the third quarter, the offense exploded for 2 touchdowns in 90 seconds, and it was a different ball game. Late in the last period, with the score tied, Bob Griese led his team on a calm march through the vaunted Colt defense. It left the issue up to Yepremian, who coolly kicked the winning field goal. Miami had its 7th straight win, and their amazing upward momentum continued. On a clear, crisp Monday night in front of a national television audience, the Dolphins demonstrated their maximum skills against the Bears. The Chicago Massacre was led by Bob Griese, who fired 2 touchdown passes, and Larry Zonka, who scored twice and topped 100 yards for the 3rd time. The 34-3 slaughter ballooned the winning streak to 8 games, longest in the NFL, and gave Miami the best record in pro football. But amidst the triumph, a sour note sounded. Bob Griese injured a shoulder late in the game. It would hamper him for the rest of the season. The next Sunday, Jim Plunkett's birthday celebration and Griese's injury combined to end the streak in the 32-degree New England weather. 1 week later, Don Shula returned to Baltimore and watched the Colts control the game. The dazed Dolphins had lost 2 straight, dropped to 2nd place, and now even their position in the playoffs was uncertain. At the Orange Bowl in the season's final game against the Packers, over 76,000 saw their team regain the touch with their 10th victory. Appropriately for a team of destiny, the Colts lost, and Miami finished 1st in the Eastern Division. So the stage was set for the playoffs, and one of the most memorable football games ever played.
Offense, defense, our day, let's win!
Early in the game, it appeared the season would end on Christmas Day for Don Shula and the Dolphins. But Miami fought back, and midway through the 3rd quarter, trailed by only a touchdown.
Too much yardage! All right, way to go, offense!
For the first time in 3 grueling periods of play, Miami had drawn even, but not for long. Faced with extinction late in the 4th quarter, Bob Griese, flawless under pressure all day, rallied his team by hitting continually on 3rd down. With time running out, the Dolphins had tied for the 3rd time. But with just over a minute, the Chiefs suddenly struck back. Only 35 seconds remained, and Jan Stenerud had only to make a chip shot for the Chiefs to win. The Miami Miracle continued to sudden death overtime, where the first score would win. Tension and fatigue were mounting. An entire season would be determined by the next few plays.
How far, Carl?
It's 37 yards down.
Darrell Yepremian will attempt a 37-yard field goal.
The longest game was over. In an historic football game, the Miami Dolphins were winners and would become champions of the American Football Conference. No team in football has come so far, so fast.